and they've been engaged for over 2 years, and it's I'm just terribly happy, terribly proud.
Hollywood's golden age was dazzling, mysterious, and filled with secrets so strange they sound like fiction. But behind the bright lights and elegant gowns lurked scandals, illusions, and eerie stories that time almost forgot. Today, on Heartfelt Tales, we're diving into 13 bizarre, shocking, and completely true stories from old Hollywood, where glamour met darkness, and the truth was often stranger than the movies. 1. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, had a smile that could melt hearts, but that charm came at a painful price. By his 30s, Gable had lost most of his teeth to infections, forcing MGM to craft custom dentures worth $60,000 in today's money. The dentures caused him chronic pain and terrible breath, something co-stars were forbidden to mention. Behind his dazzling grin was discomfort and insecurity. Gable's perfect smile became a symbol of Hollywood itself, glamorous on the outside, but fake and fragile underneath. 2. Judy Garland. At 16, Judy Garland was America's sweetheart, but MGM saw her as a project to be fixed. They called her too chubby and forced her into a cruel routine. Black coffee, cigarettes, and diet pills to stay thin. Amphetamines kept her awake. Barbiturates put her to sleep. Every calorie and movement were controlled. The studio turned her into a product, not a person. Garland spent her adult life battling addiction and exhaustion, a victim of Hollywood's obsession with perfection. Behind the rainbow, there was heartbreak and pain. 3. John Barrymore's. When legendary actor John Barrymore died in 1942, his Hollywood friends couldn't resist one final act of mischief. They allegedly borrowed his body from the morgue, propped it in a chair, and waited for Errol Flynn to return home drunk. When Flynn saw Barrymore's corpse sitting in his living room, he screamed in terror. True or not, the story became Hollywood legend, a bizarre mix of humor and horror. Even in death, Barrymore stole the scene, a man who blurred the line between life, art, and absurdity. 4. Thelma Todd was one of 1930s Hollywood's brightest stars, until she was found dead in her car inside a locked garage. Officially, it was carbon monoxide poisoning, but nothing added up. She was wearing an evening gown, covered in jewels, with blood on her face. Theories spread: murder by her ex-husband, or retaliation from gangster Lucky Luciano. Police called it accidental, but few believed it. Her death remains one of Hollywood's enduring mysteries, a chilling story of beauty, danger, and the dark price of fame. 5. The Wizard of Oz looked like pure magic, but filming it was a nightmare. The Technicolor lights made the set unbearably hot, and actors were covered in toxic makeup. Buddy Ebsen, the original Tin Man, was hospitalized after inhaling aluminum dust. Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch, suffered second-degree burns during a stunt. Even the snow was asbestos. Behind every dazzling frame was sweat, pain, and danger. The film that enchanted the world was built on the suffering of those who made it, Hollywood magic with a dark cost. 6. The Misfits. The Misfits, 1961, was meant to be a masterpiece, but it became a tragedy. Filmed in the searing Nevada desert, it pushed its stars to the edge. Marilyn Monroe was struggling with addiction. Clark Gable insisted on dangerous stunts despite his age. Montgomery Clift battled trauma and pain. Just days after filming, Gable died of a heart attack. Monroe overdosed a year later, and Clift followed soon after. What began as a story about loneliness turned into a real-life Hollywood curse, the film that destroyed everyone it touched. 7. Carl Alfalfa Switzer, the mischievous star of The Little Rascals, never found peace after fame. By his 30s, he was broke, forgotten, and scraping by on odd jobs. In 1958, an argument over a lost hunting dog ended in tragedy when Switzer was shot during a fight and bled to death at 31. It was ruled self-defense, but questions lingered. The beloved child star who once made America laugh died violently and alone. His story became a heartbreaking symbol of Hollywood's cruelty toward its forgotten children. 8. Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes was a genius and an obsessive one. During the filming of The Outlaw, he fixated on actress Jane Russell's figure and designed a bra using airplane engineering to enhance her bust. It was so uncomfortable she secretly wore her own. Hughes never noticed. His perfectionism bordered on madness, cataloging actresses' measurements, isolating himself, and communicating only through notes. The eccentric billionaire's brilliance was undeniable, but so was his descent into obsession. In Hughes, Hollywood found its most haunting mix of genius and control. 9. George Reeves. George Reeves, TV's original Superman, was found dead in 1959 from a gunshot wound, but the details didn't add up. The casing was under his body, the gun had no fingerprints, and witnesses delayed calling police. Though ruled a suicide, Reeves was newly engaged and planning a comeback. His affair with Toni Mannix, wife of an MGM executive rumored to have mob ties, added sinister possibilities. Murder? Cover-up? No one knows. The man who stood for truth and justice died surrounded by Hollywood lies. 10. Joan Crawford versus Bette Davis. Joan Crawford and Bette Davis turned rivalry into art. It began in the 1930s when Crawford married Davis's crush, Frank Tone, out of spite. Decades later, fate forced them together in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. The on-set tension was legendary. Davis hit Crawford during a scene, and Crawford retaliated with hidden weights in her costume. Their feud climaxed when Crawford stole Davis's Oscar moment on live TV. Even after death, Davis sneered, "Joan Crawford is dead. Good." Their war defined Hollywood's golden age of drama. 11. The Munchkin hanging myth. For years, fans believed a Munchkin actor hanged himself on the Wizard of Oz set, and that it was caught on camera. In reality, it was just a bird flapping in the background. Still, the myth spread like wildfire, feeding the idea that Hollywood's beauty hides something sinister. While false, the rumor outlived the truth, overshadowing the real suffering of the cast. The myth's endurance reveals our fascination with tragedy, how we expect darkness behind every Hollywood dream. 12. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich wasn't just a star. She was a perfectionist who understood power. Her contracts gave her full control over lighting, and she often supervised every setup herself. She knew exactly how to shape her face with shadows and glow. It wasn't vanity, it was mastery. In an industry run by men, Dietrich used light to command the camera and redefine beauty on her terms. Every iconic image of her wasn't luck. It was design, precision, and power disguised as glamour. 13. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead was the 1930s rebel Hollywood couldn't tame. She smoked cigars, cursed freely, and mocked studio rules. During Hitchcock's Lifeboat, she refused to wear underwear, claiming it affected her acting. When a cameraman complained, she quipped, "If you see something you haven't seen before, throw a net over it." Bankhead rejected studio contracts and chose freedom over fame. Bold, fearless, and unapologetically herself, she lived life on her own scandalous terms. Long before it was fashionable, Tallulah made rebellion glamorous. And there you have it, 13 bizarre, tragic, and unbelievable stories from the golden age of Hollywood. Behind the glittering lights and iconic films were real people, fragile, flawed, and caught in a system that demanded perfection at any cost. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Heartfelt Tales, where we uncover the forgotten truths and untold dramas behind the world of fame and fortune. Because sometimes, the real drama begins when the cameras stop rolling.